Welcome, friends. Thanks for joining me. I'm Kate. This is Unwind Yoga. And tonight we are going to unwind and relax and let go of the stress for the day. So to start, we're going to do some counter poses before we come into a more sustained relaxation pose. So we're going to start, our first relaxation pose is going to be Cobbler's pose. And then before we start that, we're going to do Windshield Wipers. So I'm going to grab a couple of things. I have blocks, I have a bolster, I have blankets. So I'm going to give you a second or so to grab some stuff for yourself. Just need 2 more blocks. All right, and we have a special guest who is going to come in and lay down. Come up. In you go. All right, so let's get started. We're going to do a little windshield wipers here. So we're going to sit, hands behind the back, and then just back and forth with the knees. Excellent. All right, so for our first pose, we're going to prop some stuff up. So if you want to set your props up against the back of a couch or something like that, if you don't have blocks, that's fine. So I'm just going to set one flat and one up tall, and then set the bolster on here. So you can do this in bed too if you're already there. All right, so next, then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and bend the knees out to the sides. So that's why I have an extra set of blocks to bring under the legs so that the knees just fall off to the sides like that. How's that? Very comfortable. So we're going to have the bolster at the base of the spine. We're just going to relax onto it. So I need an extra blanket here to put behind the head, and I've got a little bit of a roll under the neck. All right, so we're going to be here for a few minutes maybe. So just getting nice and comfortable. If you have even more blocks, you can rest your hands on another set of blocks. Or if you don't need them under the knees, you can rest your arms like that. So I'm going to do this just for fun. So I've got a blanket. I know, we're going all out on cozy fun props tonight. So I got a blanket under each knee, or under the thighs. Got a block under each arm. Got a blanket under the head. Bolster and extra blocks. All right, so let's take a moment now and check in with the breath. I'm going to inhale through the nose. The mouth is closed, and then we're going to exhale out through the nose again. Another option is you can bring a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. And as you inhale, the hands are going to move up. And as you exhale, belly button comes in. Exhale out through the nose. Excellent. Just another breath or so here. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way out of this pose. This is something nice to do later or whenever you'd like. It's nice and relaxing. All right, so we're going to bring the knees together, feet onto the floor. If you want to do those windshield wipers again, you're welcome to do that. So I'm just going to kind of move stuff out of my way here. And our next pose is going to be a supported child's pose. And our pre-counter pose is going to be cat and cow on our hands and knees. So we'll start with the cat and cow. as I start to kind of get set up a little bit here. All right, so we're just going to do nice, gentle cat and cow. Exhale, cat. Round the spine up towards the ceiling. On the inhale, rounding, looking forward. Beautiful. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. All right, so let's come into our supported supported child's pose. Sorry, too many C's. All right. So I have a bolster that I'm going to use. You don't need one. You can just do it however is comfortable. But what I like to do is big toes touching in the back, and the knees are nice and wide, at least as wide as the mat. And then bring the bolster up to the thighs. And then just fold over the bolster. So you can go one side of the head or the other side, or rest the forehead on the hands, and then you can stay in that same position. So if you've done one side, be a good time to switch over to the other side. And also, this is a great pose to work on breathing into the back body. So imagine that the ribs, the back of the rib cage is opening up with the inhale, and then releasing on the exhale. It takes some practice, but it feels great. So let's take one or two more breaths here. And then we're slowly going to make our way up, and we're going to come onto our back. So we're going to do our pre-counter pose first, which is going to be our LOL. So we do an L shape with the legs and then a ball shape like an O. All right. And then after that, we're going to do a kind of a supported fish, but not quite. So I'm going to move that big boy out of the way and come onto our backs. All right. So we'll start with our counter pose. So we're going to inhale, arms up, feet up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, we're going to bend the knees, hands to knees. Inhale, this is our L. And then exhale, this is our O. So sometimes we call these LOLs. Beautiful. All right, so now we need to get a couple of props here. So blankets work or blocks. I'm going to do blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. You can roll up a couple blankets to do that, or even do this with pillows. So we're going to take one block under the head and one block under the shoulder blades. So we're going to have the arms unsupported. Let's see. So we're going to kind of set the blocks up and then roll down onto them. And you may need to adjust them to make sure in the right spots. All right, the other thing you can do is, if you don't have blocks or blankets, but let's say you're on your bed, you can bring the base of the skull to the edge of the mattress. So that's on that occipital plane, right about there, kind of the bony part that juts back, and hang the top part into the air. So that's kind of a similar sensation. All right. So let's see. I think, yes. All right. So we're going to turn the head one up a level. And then the arms come out to the sides. And again, you may need to adjust where everything is. There we go. Okay. And I haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to keep my knees bent. And I'm going to move that just a little bit further out of the way. All right. So let's come into finding the breath again. And again, adjust, even if it's just a tiny bit, to make it that much a little bit more comfortable. So I have my feet wide, knees together, and I'm in this nice medium back bend for me. So it might be less of a back bend for you or more of a back bend for you, depending on what's comfortable. So we're just going to breathe into this, letting the shoulders relax, the wrists and the hands relax. And just melt into this pose. All right, the hardest part of this pose is coming out of it. So we're going to actually roll over and off of the blocks. Excellent. All right. So then we're going to move these out of the way. And our next pose is going to be legs up the wall. And our next counter pose is going to be bridge pose. So let's do a couple of bridge poses, and then we will come into our legs up the wall. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we're going to have our feet in the mat, knees are bent, arms down by our side. And we can start with just baby bridges. We're going to inhale, lift the hips up, and then exhale, release them down. Inhale, lifting up, and each time maybe go a little bit higher if that feels okay, or you can stay with the babies. Stay with the baby bridge. Excellent. All right. So if you want to keep doing some more, you can add the arms, but I think that's probably pretty good for now. So the next pose that we're going to do is our legs up the wall. So instead of going over to the wall, I'm just going to do my legs up the wall in the center of the room here, which is perfectly acceptable. But if you don't have a blank wall, that's understandable. So you can do it this way. Or if you have a chair or a couch handy, you can bring your calves up onto a support like that. Or if you want, you can bring your legs up in the air. So I have a little bit of a boost underneath my hips. So I have it on a blanket. You can have it, if you have a bolster, you can go up higher. Anything that feels comfy, because we are all here to relax. So just getting comfortable, feeling the lightness of the legs, letting gravity have a break, or having the legs have a break from gravity. And just take a few breaths here. Let's take 2 more breaths. And we're going to bend the knees and bring the feet down to the floor, or if your legs are up on the wall, just slide over to one side and then carefully move so you can do a little bit more here. So we're going to bring the knees into the chest. We're going to do our last pre-counter pose here. So exhale, knees in, inhale, knees out. Call this Apanasana. So you can slide the hands up and down the front of the knees, or keep the hands on the knees as they come in and out. Beautiful. So do as many as feels necessary, and then do 2 more. And the knees can be out a little bit wider if that's more comfortable, or they can be next to each other if you prefer. If your arms are resting on the ground, that's even more restful than if your arms are up in the air. Excellent. All right, so now we come to our very last pose. We're going to come into our Savasana, or our final relaxation pose. So we're going to extend the legs all the way straight out, and then release the legs and the feet away from each other. Arms come out and away from the body, palms up or palms down. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades together, see how that feels. And the best part of this pose is there is nothing to do, nowhere to go. It's all about that final bit of relaxation that we find. Letting go of breath, letting go of thinking, doing. You can let go of holding on to the earth. Earth's gravity's got you. Let go of the breath. Letting thoughts go. Just take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Roll your head side to side. When you're ready, rolling over onto your right or left side. Use your underarm for a nice little pillow. Take a breath or so here. Bringing a little bit of energy back into the body. And then when you're ready, inhale, pushing up to a comfortable seated position. And I thank you for joining me tonight, or whenever you get a chance to relax. And namaste.